Paul. Yeah. Yeah, I was just reading this dictionary, and they have a word called desperado. Yeah. A dangerous, desperate, or violent criminal. Yes. Then they have another word called destitute. Utterly impoverished, not having, extremely poor. Yes. And then they have what's called destroy, to ruin, to tear down, to demolish. Yes. You know, when I got arrested on Guam, because last night I was listening to that song Desperado, and Heidi had made up a story. She said that I'd committed domestic violence and that I'd abused my sons when I hadn't. Now, I did call her CUNT. Oh. Well, it turns out on July 2nd, the day after we got our welfare, she decided she's going to call the police and have me arrested for domestic violence. What she didn't mention is she only bought 7 plane tickets so that she could abduct my sons because we were going to marriage reconciliation. She actually hit me while we lived at the Guam Airport Hotel. Now, the plan was to make up a story that I committed domestic violence and that I committed child abuse. I went to jail for 10 days on Guam because I was destitute, very poor. Now, when I got arrested, they took me to the police station in Tamuning, and I sat down, and if you read the report, though my record has been expunged because I don't have a criminal record, I remember talking to the police officer and looking at him with surprise because I hadn't committed any domestic violence or any child abuse. Well, they put me in a jail cell, and I was sitting there, and I started to get upset because, as I understood it, let's say you had an argument as a couple, and as it was explained to me, well, you just kind of, you take a breather. You just don't go home for 4 or 5 hours. Then you go back and you make up, and it's not a big deal. Well, they decided that they were going to believe my wife, and she said I threatened her life when I hadn't. Well, that really upset me, getting put in a jail cell. Well, I was talking through my nose, and probably the Air Force has a good idea exactly what was being said, and it was one of those situations where they decided they're putting me in the back of a cop car and taking me to Tumon, or it was Tamuning. It was Tumon Police Station. I'll have to look online. Well, you know what that police officer did? He was so nice. He decided he was going to play Desperado in the police car while taking me to jail. And I asked him, I said, did you pick that song for me? Because am I that violent criminal? Now, when a police officer plays music in the patrol car while taking me to jail, it seemed like the police officer was trying to agitate me while I was going to jail. Now, there are those that thought that they would not have to do what the law requires. And on Guam, my public defender suggested I go through diversion. It's a court program they have where I did 7 hours of parenting classes so I could get my passport back. Listening to Desperado last night while I was writing another email, I got to thinking that there could be sheriffs or police officers or commissioners or judges that are trying to destroy me, ruin me, tear me down, or demolish me from wanting to have enforced my constitutional rights. Now, every day that I haven't got a response to the evidence that you issued a protection order where I was not given notice or opportunity to be heard, where the petitioner didn't sign it, and where there's forgeries on the documents, it becomes apparently noticeable to myself that this county is intentionally trying to destroy my life. Desperado. Now, when you're in a police cruiser, okay, and you got handcuffs on, and it's hot, and it's on Guam, and my hands are burning because the sunlight's hitting the reflective, hard plastic in the cruiser, and the patrol officer decides to play Desperado as if they needed some music for the show. I, as that American citizen, I get more and more focused on making absolutely sure that every law of the United States gets enforced. Now, it seems to me that those in law enforcement are trying to cause me to be destitute, destroyed, ruined, completely demolished. While at the same time, I keep looking at the documents about what the court's website says about how the law requires. Now, when you harass me, you persecute me, you prosecute me, you torture me, when you're malicious and vexatious, when you just don't think you have to do what the law says, I am 100% sure you will have to do what the law says. You're not going to destroy me, okay? I am actually going to sue every oath of office in the United States. I will be getting my sons, and the laws of the United States will be enforced. Does every badge in the nation understand? You will enforce the laws of this nation.